Hi all, as you can see, I'm here with my brother today, and we're going to be discussing the second film in my week-long event of Halloween-themed sort of horror movies on Film Review Friday, and today it's all about zombies. In particular...
Zombieland Double Tap.
Yeah, so today we're going to be discussing Zombieland Double Tap, and many of you will remember that the first ever film I really reviewed on my channel was Zombieland. So this sequel does a lot of things right. In particular, the fact that after 10 years of like a wait between the first one and the second one, it sort of like fills in the gaps quite well, and it brings back a lot of the stuff that most people like from the original. For example, all the original directors are back with it, all the original cast are back with it, even Bill Murray, who many of you will remember died in the original, and he sort of reappears towards the end of the film. I won't say how or why he appears, but he just does. And it's quite a nice callback. And what did you think of the Bill Murray like callback to it? It's
unexpected.
Yeah,
unexpected. You just didn't see it coming.
No, because I made him wait after the end, because it's sort of like, you think something's coming and nothing does, and then he sort of pops up towards the end, and it's quite nice actually, because it's like you're not expecting it. And Bill Murray was one of like the major factors of the original Zombieland, so to see him back in this is quite nice. I also love the fact of how like they make subtle callbacks to the original. For example, I'm sticking with Bill Murray here, but the scene where Columbus shoots Bill Murray by accident gets classed as Murraying in this one, and I think that is like quite cool. And I don't know what you thought about it, because I thought it was a nice callback to the original.
Well, it's a callback to the original. It's also supposed to show the past and of the future, so it's showing them the past before the apocalypse happened.
Yeah, the Bill Murray scene in particular, I like it. So that's one aspect of the film I really like, Bill Murray's part in it. And then I also love the fact of how the characters don't really seem to change. For example, Columbus is the same sort of person with all his rules, and then in fact the rules also play off Flagship, who is a new character that gets introduced, off Flagship's commandments, and them having the discussion of, oh, I should have had this rule here and I should have had this commandment here, and them swapping over his stuff is quite nice. And what did you think about it? That
same again, unexpected. You don't see it coming. You just thought it would be them throughout the film, including the new character that got added when they went to the mall, but otherwise you wouldn't have seen that.
Speaking of that character, Madison is probably actually the most unexpected person that you're actually going to really enjoy watching, because Madison throughout this, she is hilarious, because in the trailers she's portrayed as this sort of like high school college chick that just like is going to really, really, really annoy you. But she doesn't. She's brilliant. She's played by, I've forgotten her name now, but the actress who plays her does a really, really good job, because that character in particular could have been screwed up so badly. She could have been so annoying, so, like, gets on your nerves, but she just doesn't. She is brilliant throughout the entirety of the film. And yeah, so apart from that, I think that's the main good aspects of the film, with Madison, Bill Murray, and the characters all sort of being similar to what they were in the original. Now I think what we're going to do is going to move on to the bad aspects of it. So I'll start with you. What was one bad aspect of the film that you thought?
Some parts of it would be draining. It would bore you, not bore you, but like it would
drag on.
Yeah. So like,
for example, the scene where Tallahassee, Columbus, and Wichita go to Nebraska's like hangout where Elvis is, and then they meet Albuquerque and Flagship. That's quite a bit of a droning scene, even though it's got some fun aspects of it, and the fight scene towards the end of that I really enjoy. The whole meeting of them is I think a bit pointless, and they're only really introduced to become like sort of zombies and cannon fodder really, and they're just a bit boring, to be fair. Don't get me wrong, they are brilliant actors and they play fantastic characters. I just think they just drag on a bit, because when you're watching it, they're sort of like cannon fodder. I don't know if that happened for you as well, but
yeah. Also, they just, I don't understand why they brought them in, because they only lasted for about 10 minutes, 20 minutes. They didn't last that long into the film. They were just a pointless kind of character,
Yeah,
I'd say. They weren't needed.
Yeah, they sort of had potential there, but it wasn't there. And another person I really dislike in this was there's a hippie character in this as well, and Tallahassee's reactions to him are fantastic. I love him for it, but the character himself, this hippie character who Little Rock picks up along the way, he is so annoying because he's everything you hate about a person in the zombie apocalypse. Doesn't want to fight the zombies, thinks they're still human, thinks they're still like living creatures, and they're not. And he just doesn't want to pick up a weapon, and the actor playing him does a brilliant job because he's portraying this character who's meant to be annoying, but the character itself is just, I don't like him. And I don't think most of the people that went to see this movie do either. I don't know if that was the same with you, or
in my opinion, it wasn't the best of the acting. It was a bit just to pee you off.
Just to be there. He was
exactly.
just like another, like, for example.
They did need him, but
he was a bit of an important character because he leads them to this place where the final scene, the final showdown's set up. But above all else, that was really all he was there for, because he plays the guitar a bit and
smokes weed,
and that's about it. That's all he really does in the film. And then my final quarrel with this film, above everything else, is the final scene where they're fighting, because even though it's a really, really fun thing, compared to the original where they're at Pacific Playland and they're using all the attractions and all the rides to kill the zombies, everyone agrees that at final showdown where Tallahassee is in that booth and he's just going bang, 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 shooting all the zombies down left, right and centre, is a fantastic way to end a film. Compared to this one where like the main focal point is them blowing up the zombies and then the monster truck coming in and saving them, it's a bit of a letdown in my opinion. That I was expecting something more from this final showdown, because the main purpose of a sequel is to make it bigger, better, and compared to the originals where they were at Pacific Playland, I don't know if you agree with me, there was something missing for me there when I went to see it, and I don't know what it was, but it was just, compared to the originals, it didn't have that. And I think that was my biggest quarrel with this film, the fact that the final battle wasn't as explosive or like as fun to watch as the originals.
But then, yet again, Connor, it's got to be different. People want to see new things. They don't want to see the same. They don't want to continue to see flares and explosions everywhere across the sky and everything. They want to see something new. So
I get where the directors are coming from with it, and get where they're trying to like sort of like change up a bit. I just think like the originals where they were using the attractions and had like amazing scenes where, for example, Tallahassee's showdown against thousands of zombies and coming out on top was one of the best moments.
It's a memorable moment. Sorry.
Yeah, it's fine. So yeah, above all else, that is my main concern with the film, the fact that it just lets us down towards the end. But apart from that, I still really enjoyed watching this movie. I still found it quite fun. I still found it quite laughable at moments. It had great action, great fight scenes, and above all else, it's all 9 times out of 10 just a really fun watch. It falters in a few places is all.
Also went down really well at cinemas.
Yeah,
ours was packed with it.
Yeah, there was a lot of people going to see it. But I think that's mainly due to the fact that it was 10 years after the original and people wanted to see the continuation of it. But yeah, I think we're going to move on to the rating. So I'll start with you first. Out of 10, what would you give this movie?
Probably about a 7.6, 7.7.
7.7. Oh, that's our first decimal on the channel, and you've given the first decimal point out of the ratings. Yeah, I'd go around that mark. I'd probably give it a 7.4 something. I'm going to start decimals now. I'm going to start using decimals, thanks to you, Aiden. But yeah, I'm also going to give it like a sort of 7.4, 7.3-ish, because like I say, it's fun to watch, but it falters in places.
It didn't meet its mark.
It didn't meet what I think a lot of people were expecting it to, which is a shame, because I really, really wanted to have high ratings for this one, and compared to the original, there's something missing, which is a shame, because it's still fun to watch, but it misses in parts.
Yeah, it's the ending that
the ending really lets it down.
Yeah, they could have improved it. I know they want to make it different, as I said, but you gotta make it like
fun to watch, enjoyable to watch. But anyway, I think we are going to leave it there. Thank you for joining me on this, Aidan. It's been a pleasure to have you here, actually. I will be back tomorrow with let's pick clowns. Yeah, tomorrow the main focus of it is going to be on clowns. So you'll find out more about that tomorrow. But until then, I've been Connor. This has been
Aidan,
and I will see you when I see you. Bye bye.